Week 2, everybody, and here's the cheat sheet and the 5 things that I'm thinking. Number 1, I think we may have overlooked the Cleveland Browns. Hear me out. The Browns looked really physical and really tough and really good week 1 against the Panthers. Yeah, they almost blew the lead at the end. But from the get-go, that defensive line was pushing the Panthers' offensive line around. And you start looking around that Browns team and that Browns roster, and there's talent at every single position. I think what happened was after the Deshaun Watson trade and subsequent suspension, everyone just assumed, well, they don't have their quarterback. What you forgot to realize is that there's 53 men on the team, and there's 11 men on offense, 11 men on defense. And Jacoby Brissett's a pretty good quarterback. He's been in the league a long time, and those guys follow his lead. They've got what I think is the best rushing duo in the game in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. One of the best corner duos in both Denzel Ward and, of course, Greg Newsome, their second-year star. Good young talent all over the field, and they're just so big. They play the Jets in week 2. They are big favorites at home. They're unveiling that new logo at the middle of the field. I like the Browns in a walk in this one. Number 2, the Broncos are in good shape, and they'll move on from week 1's crazy finish. If Nathaniel Hackett had come out on Tuesday and said, I was right, my decision to kick the ball was the right decision and check the numbers, which so many coaches would, I would have a little reason for concern. Instead, Hackett's like, hey, if I could do it again, I would have gone for it on 4th and 5. Everyone dissected it by the time he spoke to the media. And instead of having a quivering lip and being wavering in front of them, he kind of stood up to the microphone and said, made a mistake. I would have gone for it in hindsight, and we're moving forward. Listen, they didn't lose that game because of a missed field goal at the end. They lost that game because they had 12 penalties. They lost that game because they fumbled twice on the opposing 1-yard line. They lost that game because they had a false start within the 5-yard line. And they lost that game because, quite honestly, it was a nut scenario in the craziest environment they'll play on the road this season. They lost that game for a lot of other reasons, and a last-second decision to kick a field goal instead of going for it on 4th and 5. I think Nathaniel Hackett handled things well, and I think they bounced back week 2 against the Texans. Number 3, the lottery winner makes good. Who is the lottery winner? It's maybe the craziest story of the NFL season. His name is Kader Kohou. He is a defensive back for the Miami Dolphins. Why is he a lottery winner? When this young man was 9 years old, growing up in the Ivory Coast, his family won the lottery. Yes, the lottery. And they used their earnings to emigrate from the Ivory Coast to the United States. Kader Kohou comes here, learns football, and ends up playing football at the Texas A&M Commerce. Not Texas A&M, Texas A&M Commerce, where he has a nice career but goes undrafted. Joins the Miami Dolphins as an undrafted guy. They have a loaded defensive backfield, maybe the best in the league. He's not going to see the field, and yet injuries start to occur. He makes an impact in training camp, gets in these preseason games, excels, ends up being the star of week 1's game against Bill Belichick, Mac Jones, and the New England Patriots. All over the field, forces a fumble late, and is going to play a role on this Dolphins team. A lottery winner from the Ivory Coast out of Texas A&M Commerce. Kader, they're already calling him Darth Kader in Miami. Awesome story, and it's why we love the NFL. Kader Kohou. Look for him against the Ravens in week 2. Number 4, fantasy owners. Don't worry about Cam Akers just yet. Cam Akers wasn't a huge part of the game plan going into week 1 against Buffalo. I don't know what to tell you. He wasn't. Whether it was because of training camp or it was because of mental errors leading up to the game, whatever it was, Coach Sean McVay said it was a coach's decision to have Darrell Henderson and then a rookie, Kieran Williams, get some of the looks early in this game. Well, Kieran Williams sprained his ankle on a special teams play. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. Darrell Henderson can't be the number 1 back with all the carries in that offense. So Cam Akers is going to get some action. And as he starts to get more action, the ball will start rolling. This is still the same guy who put up huge numbers 2 years ago and came back from a torn Achilles to play in the playoffs last year at a high level. Cam Akers will be just fine. Don't bench him on your fantasy teams. Don't cut him. Have some faith in Cam Akers. And number 5, one more thing. Respect your long snappers. You saw what happened in Cincinnati last week in week 1. Their long snapper, Clark Harris, goes down with torn pecs, leaves the game, and the special teams unit, which we have been celebrating for 12 months with Evan McPherson, the monster-legged kicker, it falls apart. You had a blocked extra point, you had missed field goal. The long snapper matters. And I want to say this. I'm a Clark Harris fan. Clark Harris has been in the league for 14 years. He's been a stud, and this guy tears his pecs at the age of 38. So, is he ever going to play again? Well, he's a free agent at the end of the season. He doesn't want to retire. I think Clark Harris is not done yet. I want to see Clark Harris on an NFL roster, even if it's not Cincinnati's next season. I'm Peter Schrager. Those are my 5 things to watch this week. Check out all my writing over at Fox Sports Digital.